Hey everyone, I'm just going to give a run through on what's expected with your P3, P4 and your M2. The assignment, which is on Moodle, I'm going to give you the wee link to Moodle very soon, and it explains what you have to do for P3 and P4. So I'm going to just start with that. So P3, P4, you have to use Microsoft Publisher or Word, right? Whatever is going to create a leaflet and that you're familiar with. You have to produce 2 leaflets for service users that explain the use of. First one is about medical technologies, and then the second one is about assistive technologies. Now it says how to upload both leaflets to Turnitin, but what I've got instead is an upload area on Moodle where you can put both of your leaflets there. Now the medical technologies, and they include them here, are diagnostic, operative and invasive, and life support systems, and you have to include a range of each of the types and explain these in your leaflet. So when you're explaining them, try your best to avoid any cut and paste, put things in your own words, research what each of the technologies are, use the PowerPoint, and write a very short snippet on what they're for, right? So what do they do, and include an image. And then you'll do the same kind of thing then for assistive technologies, right? And again, you're going to include mobility aids, communication aids, daily living aids, and safety and security aids. And you'll include a range of those types there as well. So I'm going to just run through just the presentations just to show you what I mean by that, right? And then I'll go on and tell you a wee bit about the M2. Okay. So if I open up the first presentation, and remember these presentations have been sent to you. So the first one there, if it makes better sense to split your leaflet up on the titles like diagnostic, that would be one title. The other one would be operative and invasive because they go together. And then the third one would be life support. So basically, if I run through the presentation here, right, I'll expect to see some information on the difference between plane and contrast films. And we had talked about this and what X-rays can show. So you can give me a rough outline of that. And then if I move on, so plane films, they're black and white. They show density. And then contrast films, which are different because they're style inserted. And again, you can give me some examples of that. Other types of diagnostic then that you should include are MRI and CT scans, and you should write about what those mean to you. Ultrasound scans, for example, the fetal ultrasound scan or the Doppler scan. Again, you can briefly outline what they do. So the information that you'll need for this is in the PowerPoint. You've got ECG as well. So again, just the electrocardiogram and what that does. And then there's different types of ECG devices, like the telemetry, the implantable lip recorder, and then exercise stress test that uses an ECG to determine disease. So those are all the diagnostic technologies that you should include. And then when we move on to operative and invasive, you'll see a number of technologies here, which will include your laparoscope, your cutter. There's only 2. And then we move on to life support systems, and we have 3 types or 3 examples that should be included. Your respiratory ventilator, your AED, and your cardiac pacemaker. And again, you should find all the information that you need within the presentation. Right? But I don't want to see cut and paste of information from the own presentation, never mind the internet. Right? So always put things into your own words, right? And use imagery. So that's the medical technology. So it's a leaflet based on diagnostic, right? One heading, second heading, operative and invasive, and the third one, life support. And a leaflet is a back and front. I'm sure you've done leaflets before, maybe in health and safety in year 1. Now the other presentation then that is also sent out to you, and again it's the same idea. See if I move this screen over a wee bit. So basically, assistive technologies, it starts with a definition of what AT is and who would use it. And assistive technology is really any type of technology that is used to assist someone to be able to live a life that they choose to ensure that they remain independent. So everyone uses assistive technology. And then the presentation will go on to just talk mainly about low-end spec, which are usually cheap. You can find them, you can buy them anywhere. And then the high-end spec then are the real the fancy ones, like the robotics and AI, and they're expensive. Right? The presentation then goes on to talk about dementia and older adults and people who are living with disabilities often find themselves becoming more dependent on people. So assistive technology is sometimes associated with groups of people, but assistive technology can be used by us all. But the information was there just to provide that context. When we get to your leaflet creation, the areas that you should focus on are here: communication assistive technologies, right? So devices that you can use. That maybe people can't speak, you're using things all the time, like your phone, your WhatsApp, and these all enable people to communicate. Specific devices then, if you look at the electrolarynx and you watch the video there, it will explain what that does. And then your AAC aids, again, you click on the link, it will bring you through to information that you can use. So that's one heading. The second heading then will be your daily living aids. And again, this might require a wee bit of research on each of these, but you kind of see what each of them are used for. And they're to assist people to live independently. Now, if I move on to mobility aids, and if you click on that link, that will bring you through to some information about technologies that can be used to enhance and enable people to mobilise a lot better. That picture there is an exoskeleton and enables somebody who is a wheelchair user to get up and move. And then that picture there you may be more familiar with is the hoist. So that's second head, mobility aids. There's other information then attached to robotics. So let me see, we've got 3 headings in total. There's your communication, your daily living, and your mobility aids. At the end of that, then it'll ask about it'll tell you what you need to do. But really roughly, if we just focus on mobility aids, communication aids, daily living aids, and there's a 4th one put in there as well, safety and security aids, and that could be things like CCTV. So again, another wee bit of research. Specifically include 3 examples under each of the following headings. Right, and again, use images and text to provide brief explanations of what the technologies can be used for. So both of those presentations have been emailed out. If you haven't got a copy, or if I don't know, you can't find it, just give me a shout. Send me an email and I'll send it onwards to you. Right, so that hopefully should cover P3 and P4.